Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Quinnell. On last night's Raw, which we'll have a review of here shortly with a very special guest, an angle took place between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and the Judgment Day, where JD appeared to injure KO, distracting Sami in his North American title match against Dominic Mysterio. Owens could be heard on the episode speculating that he's got a broken rib, but as it turns out, there might be a bit more to it than just story. Worked Wrestling on Twitter is reporting that this injury is actually genuine, and it's currently unclear how long Owens will be out for, but that the injury was used to further this Judgment Day angle. This was also corroborated by Fightful. Whether it's actually a broken rib or not is unknown as of the time of writing, but whatever the injury is, we at WrestleTalk would like to wish KO the best in his recovery. What this means for the tag titles is also unclear, whether the duo will need to relinquish the belts or not, or how the story progresses from here. We'll just have to stay tuned to find out. But I really, sincerely hope it's nothing serious and we can get KO back on our screens before long. Moving along to LA Knight news now. As Ollie mentioned in yesterday's news episode, there are potentially things lined up for Knight following SummerSlam. But who knows how genuine that actually is, considering that's something it seems like has been in the works for months now. Which then begs the question, after he lost the United States Invitational Fatal 4-Way on SmackDown, is Knight actually going to be featured at SummerSlam at all? Reports from the Wrestling Observer state that Austin Theory's next United States title match is set to be on SmackDown, not SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is considered full with 9 matches. You hear that, Tony Khan? 9 matches. So what does this mean for Knight? According to BWE on Twitter, WWE does have plans for Knight at SummerSlam, but it's currently for a segment/angle, though those could change to a match potentially, which seems to be much of the same that's been talked about for a while now, with Knight being mostly around but not given much of substance. Meanwhile, over in AEW, there's been some interesting backstage news to come out. Firstly, according to Fightful Select, Orange Cassidy has been expanding beyond just a wrestler and has begun being an agent/producer for AEW as well, which, in case you don't know, involves being on a headset during matches, giving information to ringside, informing TV production of planned spots so they can be in the right positions, and go over the matches with the talent themselves. Cassidy reportedly reduced the recent match of Big Bill and Brian Cage versus Trent and Matt Sydal, which has reportedly received praise backstage, as well as the match between Infantry and the Kingdom. However, while there's an Orange Cassidy, there could have potentially been a Bret Hart, as Brian Solomon tweeted about interviewing Bret Hart for his book, and Hart mentioning that he had offered to agent for AEW, but AEW only had interest in bringing him in as a manager, like Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, Tully Blanchard, etc., which also didn't happen. But now it's time. We hand over to our special guest for an amazing, epic Raw review, because Luke's away on holiday. So here we go. Amazing special guest. Here we go. It's me. Sorry. I need to make the lights red. There you go. Sorry. Now it's time for my review of Raw in about 5 minutes. The show began with Judgment Day, minus Dirty Dom, who said they run all of WWE, and they throw to a recap package of Dominic Mysterio winning the North American title, which is still one of the best decisions they've made in recent memory. I love it. Dominic then throws to his own video package celebrating himself. He's such a dick. I love it. They're interrupted by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who say this segment is exactly the same as last week. Yes, it is. Sami says that Dom is being disrespected, but that's only because nobody respects him. A match is made between Sami Zayn and Dominic Mysterio for later in the night, and Rhea accepts on Dom's behalf to put Dom's title on the line, which he doesn't seem all too confident about. Dissension in the Judgment Day? Up next was Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark with a match against Trish Stratus at SummerSlam on the line, as well as Becky needing a tattoo saying thank you Trish on her chest if she loses. Bit of a convoluted stip for this one, but alrighty. This was really fun though. Zoe more than held her own against Lynch, looked very comfortable being against one of the top stars in the company, and despite some heavy interference from Stratus, Lynch put Stark away with the manhandle slam. Lynch versus Stratus at SummerSlam is on, and I'm excited for it. After that, we got a recap package of Cody Rhodes being attacked by Brock Lesnar, followed by Cody coming out to the ring and saying that Brock made a mistake by leaving him breathing. And at SummerSlam, he wants to embarrass Lesnar. And also, he, slapped him in the face. He's slapped a bear or something. He said Lesnar was a bear and he was poking the bear, but actually, he's slapping him in the face. He's slapping a bear, is what I'm trying to say. We still don't really know why Lesnar attacked Cody in April, and there still isn't a stipulation announced for the match either. There's still time, I suppose. But this was a good promo. We then got a recap, seems like a trend on this show, of Ricochet versus Logan Paul, and Ricochet said he's waiting for Logan to show up so he can say some stuff to his face. We then got the match of Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio, which was enjoyable enough for what it was, but it was more about the finish, which, as mentioned earlier in the news portion, saw Rhea and Damian bring out KO out onto the ramp after presumably assaulting him backstage, which distracted Sami, allowing Dom to get the roll-up win. Backstage, KO said he's got a broken rib, and once again, whatever injury he does have, I hope he gets better soon. After a recap package, hey, there's another one, of the awesome Bloodline segment from SmackDown. Ricochet can't find Logan Paul backstage, and Tommaso Ciampa told Shinsuke Nakamura he doesn't expect to see him ringside during his match with Reed coming up. So I wonder if Shinsuke's gonna come out for the match. He did. Shocking. The match was pretty fun though, and the crowd got into it by the end, but Shinsuke coming out distracted Tommy C, allowing Reed to get the win with the Tsunami. Good stuff. There was also a backstage segment thrown in there of Apollo Crews getting in the face of Damian Priest, because why not? After a recap package, hey, I've lost count of how many that is now. Liv Morgan was backstage and said she's got a problem with Rhea Ripley because she injured Raquel Rodriguez. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville were upset they didn't get interviewed, and Rhea said she's gonna beat up Liv. Which she did before the bell, and then injured her arm by stamping on it in a chair. Rhea Ripley is very cool. After a recap, hey, it's another one. It's so many. Of the Viking Rules match, Maxine Dupree said she's going one-on-one with Valhalla next week in her first ever singles match. I'm looking forward to it. And more than that, I'm sure Luke is going to adore it when he's back next week. After that, Ricochet came out to the ring and called out Logan Paul again, saying he doesn't belong here and called him an arrogant little prick. Scathing. Logan attacked Ricochet from behind and accepted his match for SummerSlam, but Ricochet stood tall after Logan got too arrogant, calling out the crowd and telling people they need to get laid because they're virgins. This was solid. Shayna Baszler backstage said she's sick of hearing Ronda Rousey's name, and at SummerSlam, she's going to beat her in a way she understands. At SummerSlam, she's going to fight Ronda Rousey. Fight Pitt? Maybe? Submission match? Damian Priest beat Apollo Crews quickly. Would you look at that? A Money in the Bank winner actually winning matches. Crazy. Gunther and Drew McIntyre had a face-to-face next, which was a pretty great promo and got me pumped for the match at SummerSlam. Drew then challenged Ludwig Kaiser, and I liked that Ludwig didn't back down or look scared, he just wanted a fight. Drew, of course, won the match, but it was pretty good. And look, Corey, you doing commentary as Ludwig Kaiser was funny for like a few seconds. In a post-match beatdown, Matt Riddle came out for the save, didn't save Drew, and then Drew stood tall anyway and powerbombed Gunther through the commentary table. Thanks for coming, Riddle. Ronda Rousey accepted Baszler's challenge for a fight backstage. Sorry, not a fight. The fight, as she called it. The final segment of the show was the contract signing between Rollins and Balor for SummerSlam, where Rollins came out and signed the contract. Balor hesitated, and Rollins took advantage of that by doing a promo, saying that even if, somehow, some way, Balor wins at SummerSlam, Priest is going to cash in on Balor anyway, and he knows that because Balor would do the same thing to him. It won't be the coronation of the Judgment Day, it's going to be its end. While Balor responded, saying that Rollins was the cause of his downfall 7 years ago, the rest of the Judgment Day swarmed outside the ring, which was a really cool visual. Priest looking like he was going to cash in after attacking Rollins, but before he could, Sami Zayn came out for the save. He was ineffective ultimately, as JD stood tall to close the show, after a very good beatdown angle. Honestly, this was a perfectly fine episode of Raw. There was nothing overly special or amazing, but nothing was really bad. Everything was pretty good, and it overall made me more excited for SummerSlam, which is good. This week's Raw gets a solid 3 out of 5. Now, if you haven't yet, check out Sunday's video where we talk about 5 reasons why Jey Uso should dethrone Roman Reigns and 5 reasons why he shouldn't. I'm quite proud of this video. It's like a debate with one person. I think it's great. Here's a clip. But who knows how genuine that is, considering that's something it seems there's been in the works for months now. But who knows how genuine that actually is, considering that's something it seems has been in... But who knows how genuine that actually is, considering that's something it seems like has been in the works... Balls ass.